Hey everybody, this is Dean and welcome to Photo Blue. Today I thought I'd do a video on how to adjust the hues of the foliage in the sky in an infrared image using the channel mixer in ON1. So I already have the white balance set here. I have a couple other videos, one on how to set the white balance for infrared on ON1 and another basic video on how to edit an infrared image in ON1. So this is kind of a bit more advanced, and this will show you how you can get a little more variation out of the color in your foliage and in your sky. So what we're going to do is we're going to add filter right here, and we're going to go to the channel mixer. And to start with, we're going to use just the IR swap, which will do the red and the blue swap for us. And so if we click on this, you see that it has pretty nice setting right here, or at least it's pretty nice to start with. But we can make some adjustments to this. Now, with a standard channel swap right here, if we look at the red channel, you see the red is set to 0 and blue is set to 100. That's where the swap has gone on in the red channel. And then the opposite is true on the blue channel. The blue was set to 0 and then the channel set to 100. So it actually swapped what colors those channels are dealing with. Now if we go to the green channel, you can see that red and blue are at 0 and green is at 100. So what we can do is swap the green channel as well. So that will give us some more variation in what we get in our final product. So I'm gonna set this down to 0. Sometimes it's a little hard to get it right at 0, so you can just click on it and set it to 0 if you want. So now we're at 0 and it's kind of messed up the color and everything. But if we go to the red channel and we swap red with the green and we bring it up to 100, you can see here that the trees are now, instead of being kind of a pinkish color, they're more brilliant red right here. If we bring this back down to 0 again, and we bring the blue up to 100, you see the foliage is turned to yellow here, and the blue in the sky actually changes as we're changing these hues as well. So it go anywhere from kind of a cyan or teal to almost a dark blue or a purple. So you get a range in the sky as well. So we can, those are two different ways we can set so that we get yellow and so that we get a more brilliant red. But the other way that we can set this is we can go and we can bring the blue back to 50%. Or it's not really 50%, it's 50 points or whatever. And we can bring the red up to a setting of 50 as well. Oops, I went too far. And so now we have kind of an orangish foliage right here. And so those are a couple ways that you can vary your foliage quite a bit. Now the other thing to remember when you're editing in infrared as well is you can use other effects and filters and adjustments within ON1 to adjust the color. Sometimes they'll actually end up giving you the opposite effect. So if we go in here and we go to color balance, for example, we can take these wheels and we can mess with the balance as well if we want to make fine-tuned adjustments. So you can experiment with some of these other things as well to make fine-tuned adjustments. It will still work even though you have the color swap, but sometimes the color effect ends up being opposite of what you think it's going to be because you swapped the channels. So you have to kind of move the controls around and see how it affects the final image. The other thing you can do, of course, is you can adjust things like contrast and exposure as well to bring things up and down just like you would in a normal photograph. So that's how you can adjust the hues of the foliage in ON1. I'm Dean, and this has been Photo Blue, and I'll see you next time.